Good afternoon, Senators. We will go ahead and get started. Just so you know, this will be repeated at each of our meetings with our opening agenda. We'll begin with our call to order, making sure we have the attendance report, that we have quorum, and approval of the minutes. And so I begin by calling the meeting to order. Want to remind any guests and those that are online that per our bylaws, only staff senators who are present in person are allowed to speak during our meetings. And so if you're someone who is joining online and you have a question, you can feed that to your representative and we'll be happy to answer that at a later time. Secretary Taylor, roll call complete. Thank you so much. Parliamentarian McCormick, do we have a quorum present?
Yes.
Thank you. We have a quorum present to conduct business. Jessica Mackey, our wonderful administrative coordinator, sent out the minutes from our last meeting, which was for June, which for most of you was a review of something that you did not attend, but hopefully you found them a wealth of knowledge. Were there any additions or revisions from last month's meeting minutes? All right, seeing none, I'd like to move to approve November's minutes. Do I have a senator who will make that motion? All right, Senator Tuck, is there a second? Senator Manette, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Awesome, minutes are approved. The rest of our agenda will go today as follows. We will have officer reports. Our wonderful guest speakers will present. We'll then move into committee reports. We'll, at the end of our time together, have announcements and good of the order. We'll then adjourn, and then at the very end, we're going to have a senator role dialogue opportunity that we'll talk about a little later during the meeting. And I'm going to begin with the president's report. And the way I will structure my president's report at each of our meetings will be today, starting with a welcome. Then I want to share information and opportunities with the body, and then any celebrations that we may have. First of all, I want to welcome everybody to the 25-26 opening term of USC Staff Senate. This is our wonderful picture that you can see from our orientation that we had in June. I'm excited to welcome you all to this role as we get started with our collaborative work together. I want to provide a little bit of information. Some of this you may know, some of it you may not, some that you may want to pass on to your constituents as warranted. The Palmetto College has a new leader. You may know Dr. Craig Wilson was announced as chancellor. And also just to put on your radar, USC, if you've followed the news, is looking at changing its accrediting body. And so you may want to just keep abreast of this as developments come forward. Also some opportunities, and there are some QR codes that we will send out to you as well. June 16th, USC Today had a whole section about employee perks and discounts that I know it was over the summer, so some people might have missed that. This was a wonderful opportunity for all of your constituents to see what are some of the advantages that come from working at USC. And so I encourage you to possibly send this out. The QR code will take you back to that June 16th USC Today. And again, has lots and lots of information about what we all are eligible for working here at the university. So again, I encourage you, and this will be sent out, that you also pass it along to your constituents. I get a chance to take a picture with the dinosaur. Also, I learned that I thought was kind of neat to pass on is we all, as employees at the University of South Carolina, have access to Headspace. So if you need a time to calm yourself or clear the clutter in your head, as I sometimes do at the end of a day or the beginning of a day or during the day, you have a free subscription to Headspace, which is a wonderful app just for relaxation. If it's just want to hear some great music to relax you, to all sorts of other aspects of mental well-being, Headspace is phenomenal. You may have heard about it out and about and could be a little costly, but we have a free subscription from USC. And so this may be something that you want to take advantage of or let your colleagues know of as well. All you have to do is plug in your USC email address and then boom. It's also for students, faculty, all three have access to this. So thank you so much for letting us know. Okay. Other opportunities, and this comes under the service lens that we wanted to make sure that you were aware of, is it's time to welcome those almost 8,000 students to campus. There are many, many opportunities, not only for us as staff senators, but also for our constituents if they want to volunteer. I will say from the times that I have done this, it takes the whole proverbial village to get students moved in. And it's very gratifying and kind of reliving those days. If you are like me and it's been a little while since you had your undergraduate career, helping navigate the move in. And it isn't anything that you have to do outside your comfort zone. You're not moving in, lifting boxes, that sort of thing. It's more greeting and directing. So we have move-in greeters, you have post office support, kind of just directing people at the post office. First Night Carolina, the celebration that they have, as well as Gamecock greeters for the 19th and 20th. So if you feel so moved as to volunteer, please do so. I know that our friends in student affairs and housing would appreciate it, that they would love to have that opportunity for some help, whether it be you or some of your constituents. Also, we have a unique opportunity that Vice President Reed and past President Castellone and I had the opportunity to be briefed on recently, and that is adding a Fireflies game for USC staff to the USC Staff Appreciation Week for 2026. And this would be hosted by the Fireflies, where we would all go at a reduced cost, any USC staff member who wanted to, where we would have a reserved seating, have a shout out, and it would be all about the staff experience at USC at a Fireflies game. They had lots of intriguing offers of what we could do. And so what we would like to do and offer to you all as staff senators is a test run. I want to make sure before we agree to something and invite, 5,000 of our friends, what it actually is and what it looks like and how it works. And so there is an opportunity for a playoff game. Our Fireflies have made it to the playoffs for Thursday, September the 11th, where if there's enough interest, we can get staff senators and their families or friends who want to go to a game. It will be hosted at the Be Well Pavilion with reserved seating. The cost is about $31 a person, which includes the game ticket, a buffet meal, and a Fireflies hat. Children 3 to 7 are a little cheaper, and children under 3 are free of charge. If this is something that you might be interested in, not committing yet, if you will use this QR code to just let us know. And if there is enough interest, we'll move forward with having more information at our next meeting, and we'll possibly engage in this to see. But again, test run with you all, and if it's something you all might be interested in, then we'll know that the larger populace would be as well. And again, if you're a constituent tuning in, this is something we hope to bring to the 2026 Staff Appreciation Week that will be held most likely end of April, May. Any questions about that? And we will send that out as well. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Great point that this is a wonderful opportunity that we can't pay for as a body. But we would like to. But again, I think it's a pretty good deal for the price for the buffet unlimited times. And a hat. Have some celebrations this time. First, I want to call out Senators Stovall and Chambers, or Stovall, did I get it right? Stovall? Yeah, come on down. These two individuals were at orientation, won the bingo, and so I promised them that they would have a prize. Yay! Congratulations. Congratulations. You're welcome. And then also wanted to point out in our celebrations is the 2% that we're all going to get in hopefully this next paycheck. So I know, yay, I would take it. It's not enough, but it's a start. So, we appreciate that. Also wanted to mention that because at the last time we were together at orientation, we did not have the coffee and snacks. We are working on that for our August meeting. It's a welcome back to you all, giving our friends at Airmark enough time to also get back. and get going. So you can look to that when we get here in August as a point of celebration as well. I want to remind us all of our theme for this Senate term, that we plan to connect, empower, and lead in everything that we do. And in that, I just want to remind you some particulars about your role. What we expect and what your constituents expect, first and most of all, is communication. Remind your constituents about meetings that they can tune in online or watch recordings. More importantly, share updates from our meetings that will come from the Communications Committee. They have a wonderful template that they will put in information that's pertinent to send out in a very, very digestible form. Encourage your constituents to support Staff Senate projects. We're going to have a vibrant Community Projects Committee that will be talking about opportunities that you and your constituents can help with, such as move-in day and celebrate the new students. Welcome. Also, make sure that you are meeting with your division, unit, college leadership, making sure that they know who you are and you are helping in making those decisions that are appropriate for you at your role. And if you need help bridging that gap, please let those of us on the executive committee know, because we can do that. That you should, at various times throughout the semester, be meeting with your leadership to ascertain their needs, as well as communicate what you're hearing from staff in that area. And then last but not least, be open to meeting with constituents. Have times where they can drop by and see you virtually, whether you're in the office, have ways to communicate with you just to check in and let you know how things are going. To help with this, we've developed a checklist that you have at your seat that we're going to talk about a little later. And then we're also going to have an opportunity at the end of the meeting to have what I like to call role dialogue opportunities. Some of you are representing very large constituencies, some of you medium, some of you small. And that can be difficult on all three levels and can come with some challenges. And what we want to do is have an opportunity to dialogue with some of the executive committee and you all to make sure we can help some of those challenges ahead of time so that they can be successes. So we'll talk about that at the very end of the meeting after we adjourn, because we'll go straight from those role-alike sessions and in for the day. And now that's the end of my report. I'm going to turn it over to Secretary Taylor.
Thank you, President Burkett. A few housekeeping things from me. Number one, great job finding your seat today. It was alphabetical order-ish. It started on the front row and then continued on the second row. So we'll probably keep it like this so you know where you're seating. But I want to say, if anyone has any seating needs or preferences, please let me know, because we will do some shuffling to, if you do need to sit on the end, or you'd rather sit in the back, or whatever it is, shoot me a message and we will take care of you there. If you took a headshot at Staff Senate orientation, I'm wrapping up the edits of them. I must say, you all have lovely smiles. And I will be sending a folder out of those headshots. A few of you have like one or two to choose from, because I am trigger heavy when I'm taking pictures. So I will put this in an email, but you'll essentially name the headshot that you want to use on the Staff Senate website. And then I will upload that to the website for you. You're welcome to download all the pictures and use them wherever, personally or professionally, but you will name whichever one you want to use. If you have a different headshot that you would like on the website, you can also send me that as well. Another website update is everyone has been officially added to the Senator page on our Staff Senate website, so sc.uu/Staff Senate. If you go to Senators, everyone should be reflected there with your names and emails. A few photos are already there, but go ahead and look over that. If there's a mistake, I'm human, so it's a lot of names to update. So let me know if anything needs to be corrected on the website as well. And then for committee chairs, I will be reaching out. Again, another email, just consider you're getting a lot of emails from me. I'll send you a little document on taking attendance and minutes at your committee meetings, probably coming up here soon. So know that to look out for that for me. And then last but not least, this is one of the proud achievements from the Communications Committee last year is we created a Staff Senate history video. We actually have our two lovely co-founders here who are speaking to us shortly. They are the lovely interview subjects for and kind of share the history of Staff Senate. We found a lot of folks coming in and are like, yeah, I'm on Staff Senate. And we get a lot of, well, how did that start anyway? Or what has it done? Or, what can you do on Staff Senate? Or how do I join? So we made a little history video that we're going to show right now and debut it. And there's the website if anyone needs. So basically, any edits, comments, concerns, let me know. And we'll premiere this video.
The University of South Carolina Staff Senate was created in 2020 through a presidential directive. After a year of research and planning, the first Staff Senate was elected in spring 2021. The first Staff Senate General Body meeting was held that summer, led by Dr. Shelley Dempsey. Staff Senate serves as an open forum to facilitate collaboration among staff members. It also serves as an advisory committee to the university president, adding an essential voice to conversations and decisions that support the university. Several university leaders helped shape Staff Senate objectives.
There are many people, but I could start from the administration that really helped to catapult Staff Senate with President Caslin. He was a huge champion for us, as well as Carolina Gardy.
Mark Beeger.
Mark Beeger,
He
he was chief of staff.
He was a big helper.
He was a big help.
He was the one helping us get the information, the data, the things that would help us propel the actual task.
Yes.
He was the one that we went to for that. And then Dr. Pruitt.
Britz.
Dennis Pruitt was a huge help, I think, for him being within the Division of Student Affairs and Academic Support. So many staff, right, were in that space too. And I just felt like he was a big champion.
Yeah, huge. And then also, I was in the College of Education, so my dean at the time, John Peterson, was a great asset and help. He was always encouraging me.
I just think people tapped us in different ways to help us. I don't know if I can pinpoint any more, but there were a lot more that really helped us along the way.
There are numerous Staff Senate successes in the last 5 years, including hiring the first staff ombudsperson, creating staff awards, and establishing an annual Staff Appreciation Day and event.
Staff appreciation.
Appreciation Day, that was huge.
The other one was the staff ombuds.
The staff ombudsperson.
Yes,
That was huge.
that was a big
I
one.
think that was one of the things I wrote
We
down,
did.
when coming up with the plan for Staff Senate. That's really huge because we have a person here now, Robin,
Yes,
who's our staff ombudsperson. I felt like the university really made an investment because it required a budget
yes, it did.
and salary and benefits and a space which costs money. And so it's like, oh, they really are serious about having this because they really invested money which is going to be long-term.
Any staff member at the University of South Carolina is welcome to attend the monthly Staff Senate General Body meetings virtually or in person. Speak with your Staff Senate unit representative to learn more about the ways to get involved.
I think for someone who wants to get involved, it's simply to go to a meeting, go talk to your senator. Staff see so much. And so as a staff member, you have the opportunity to observe the university in a different way. And then we see the cracks and we see the potential opportunities. And I think if you're someone who wants to be a part of a solution and see things happen and get put together, and create something new, Staff Senate is where to be, because that's how so many things have happened, because people went to a Staff Senate meeting, mentioned it to their senator and said, there's this issue, we need this as staff.
And it doesn't really take a lot. People think it takes like a huge idea, like, we have Staff Senate, but it doesn't really take all of that. It just simply just attend a meeting and then also connect with people in your department. Start in your department and you work in your unit with other staff members, like start there. and maybe you don't have a department staff council, maybe you can start there, start having like maybe monthly meetings about just, there doesn't have to be issues.
No.
You can be talking about something good that's going on, and your unit, maybe you can help to bring that to other departments, other units that you're doing in your area. So just start somewhere, it doesn't have to be anything big, just do something. University would not exist without.
Is that, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Visit sc.edu/staff senate to learn more and get involved.
All right. As the video ended, and thank you, Michaela and the communications team, especially from 2425 for making that video and encapsulating what the history is in a very manageable chunk so that individuals at USC can see why this was such a need. And I love the ending sentence that USC would not function without staff. And I think that is key. As you all are beginning your term and the majority are new, we thought it would be a perfect time not only to show the video, but also hear just a little bit about our why, because it comes from the founding of Staff Senate. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you for a few words, Angela Wright and Leena Holt.
I'll let you do the computer. Let her in charge.
Down arrow should, I don't know if that'll work.
Oh,
Oh, you do it on the keyboard? Yes.
Right here.
that's yours.
You want me to do? You got it?
You do.
Okay, I'll take it. Okay, go for it. You already heard who we are, so we'll just skip over that part, but we're excited to be here to talk to y'all.
Yes, very excited to be here. So one question we would like to ask is, you heard why we both got involved in charge of the Staff Senate, but what is your why? Like, why did you decide to serve as a staff senator? Anyone? Yes. The Senator Love. Okay, hello.
I decided to serve because human resources, and I do hear a lot that our staff folks don't have a voice. So I decided to serve because I was like, you guys do have a voice, and it is important, and I want to help them feel like this is where they should be. And so hopefully before I can tell them, before they start looking for an opportunity, come speak to someone, because sometimes just a simple conversation will make your decision to stay and not leave and go somewhere else. So that's why I decided to serve.
Very good. Anyone else? Oh, Senator Richards.
So actually, my reason is my colleague, I had just had a baby and I was in a whole different space, but they had enough faith and confidence and trust in me that they tapped me in and said, hey, we think you would be a great senator for our college. And so that's the reason why.
That's great.
Great. Excellent.
One more. I like,
One more
you know,
person.
I'm like, you want a one thing. Come on.
Anyone else?
Don't
What
be
about from this side?
Go for it.
Very good.
Thank you for sharing that. So you kind of are hitting on some of the components. So our approach with our presentation is not to go through the history. You clearly heard that already, but as we connect with you today, the hope is that we can give you some little nuggets that you can take along the way. And so the first thing is, you think of a home, right? We're building our home as Staff Senate. The first thing is building a foundation. And so you already heard the mission, right? The critical voice of our staff. And so one thing to think about is, someone said trust. I think you used the word trust just a minute ago, right? Like when you think of foundation in a home, I'm not talking about the concrete. When you're thinking about this organization, we're talking about stability as far as relationships, the trust in each other, being able to really build up the organization. And you can't do it without a foundation. And so a lot of that came to us when we started this back in 2020. And the one thing I just wanted to read to you all was I still legit, I have my email from 2020 from Mark Beeger. And in his email at the very end, he said this when he was asking us to serve. He said, our staff are the backbones of this academy, and we need to move quickly to give them the strongest voice and representation possible. Like, that's powerful. And I mean, we got this email. I was walking across the horseshoe. It was February 17th, 2020. I was like, I don't think this email was meant for me. Like, who is this? Like, at that point in time, I was like, nah, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, this is real. And then all of a sudden, COVID, you know what happened in 2020. COVID happened, but we were still told by President Caslin, he wants this to happen. So it was just an interesting time. And I'm so thankful, even though we were definitely at first not sure what we were doing because we didn't know each other when we started. We were like, we got to do this. One, because we were told, we were voluntold, but it was a great opportunity to build trust and connection and then serve the university. So when you think about foundation, think about that from your lens, your constituents, your department, your unit, whichever area you're serving in. What are your foundational pieces? What is critical for you? Obviously, we're serving the entire staff, but you're coming to the plate. You're coming to this table with your plate of information that your team is asking you to advocate for. So what is your foundation as you go through this next year or 2 years as you're serving your term, right? So keep that in mind because it's really critical to kind of ground you.
All right, so we're continuing to build our house, right? And so what else comes with the house? We have to have the framework as well as the walls and all of that. And so with that comes with our structure and representation. So structure could be our bylaws that we already have established. That would be our structure along with, the foundation and everything. And then the framework. And so the framing of the house mirrors the initial organizational structure that we have here at the university. So think about it in that aspect. And then, of course, we have the walls, which are the people and our partnership that we have on campus. So we have partnerships within our own unit. But now, as we are also serving all of our staff here at the university, we're going to be establishing and collaborating with other people across campus as well. So now, not just think about people in your unit, but also try to think about how you can serve others, other capacities, maybe participate on another committee outside of your unit, collaborate with other people across campus. That would be the walls and our structure and people in partnerships.
So then we have windows and doors. And so as you think about a window, right? Like imagine you're sitting somewhere big, bay windows, beautiful. What is coming in? Hopefully sunlight, right? We're inviting light into our space. And so when you think about the staff senate, your job is to invite those ideas, opportunities, the challenges from your constituents, working with your committees, working with one another across committees to really take those ideas in. Right? Not all ideas will happen. Sometimes there are ideas that are not that great, but you just, you are representing. You take in all the ideas, you bring it to the table, and maybe it will shake out, and maybe it will happen. But remembering those windows, giving your division, your departments, the chance to say what they want to say, hear them out. It might seem off the wall, but your job as a senator is to listen. Invite the light in, invite them in to your space to allow them to share the ideas that they're generating, because something from one area, I work over in athletics now, something from there might connect with Division of Student Affairs that might connect with nursing, right? Like there's opportunity in that. So when you think about it, you want to create opportunities, but you also want to be transparent. And so Chris actually was talking about this in his checklist and the expectations. Your job is to be transparent to your division and your unit and to your constituents, but also to your fellow senators. The role is not to be taken lightly. We're really excited that y'all get to be in that role, but how do you maintain that transparency with your group, the people that you are connected with? And it's not just peer level, it's not just the leadership, but it's all around. Because when someone sees you, they'll see you as a senator. They may not remember your area and anything, but they'll say, oh, you're a senator. Okay, I'm going to tell you some information. Obviously, you're going to talk to your folks first, but the hope is that you're expanding and making touch points across campus. So remember, invite that idea generating, but also be transparent. And then when you think about doors, I think this one's very interesting because when you think of staff senate, there are many opportunities to stay connected, right? There are doors and ways to get in. As a senator, you're already in the door. You're coming to these meetings, you have a voice. We're technically not supposed to be speaking unless we're invited, right? Like you all have this voice. However, your colleagues still has a voice through you. You are their door, you are the vessel, you are the opportunity
to be that for them. You're creating the community service and the different outreach committees that Chris mentioned. They may not be a senator, but they might just volunteer one time. And then they're like, oh, that was fun. Now you've planted a seed. Now you're going somewhere else. And so when you think about windows and doors, you really want to maintain that opportunity, transparency, and then you want to create access and you want to engage your group as much as you can. And the one thing I'll say with doors is often we think doors, you always hear the metaphor, the door opens and one door opens, one closes. I don't think Staff Senate is one of those doors that closes. It's a swivel door, right? Like you come around, you come in, you hang, you do your thing, you might leave and you might come back and have another term. Where's Anthony? Hey, I see you. So he's back again, right? And like there's times where we always offer to every president, we're like, come, let us know how we can help. We may not be always in the room when you're not going to be in the senator role at this point in time, but bring us back. We will come back through that door and serve in a short term, however you need us, and then we'll let back up and give space for others to do their part. So continue to think about how are you going to create those doors for yourself with the people you're serving? At the end of the day, that's really critical. So just wanted to share that.
So the next part of our house, we got our foundation, got our windows and doors, structure. And so now we have to have something to keep all of that together. So we have our solid foundation, but now we have to have a roof to kind of hold everybody together. And so a roof kind of signifies protection and sustainability, and also our core structure of the organization, just as the foundation that we have. And so just remember, think about a roof equals protection and advocacy. And so the roof shields and safeguards the whole structure, right? And then it, just like the Senate advocates for staff well-being, equity, and workplace improvements. And so also it signifies performance and stability. A solid roof signifies a well-performing organization that is stable and resilient in the face of adversity. So even though we may have other things that come at us that we may not agree with, still have to keep the roof intact and the foundation intact to keep all of us together, right? And so also reflecting on the strength of the foundation and the structure, and the strength of the roof depends on a strong foundation, like I said. So just remember that we're all here together. The foundation still has to be intact always, as well as the roof. And then, of course, the windows and doors, like she said, can change over time. But remember that we still have to be stable and hold it together, regardless of what comes our way. Even if a hurricane is coming through, whatever that is, whatever that challenge may be, we still have to be that particular organization to hold us all together in the face of any adversity.
So then as the house has been built, right, we got the roof, we have all those pieces, it's meant to grow, right? Like a home is ever evolving, ever changing. How many of you have a home and you've redone the kitchen or added carpets or hardwood floor? You're constantly breaking down walls, adding new spaces, doing all these things, right? And so as you think about your role right now, we're in what, year 5, right? Like it's insane. You're in year 5. Year 5 means there's probably going to be some changes. There's going to be new ways of doing things. The stuff that we came up with in 2020, hopefully some things are still standing, but things are going to change and that's okay. And you get to be a part of that conversation. You get to be a part of that, be a catalyst for the changes that need to happen while recognizing what are the good things that you're like, okay, these are core. We want to maintain these as a Senate. So remember, as you're building up and working into this next year or two, it's going to take time and you got to remain flexible, right? Like, how are you going to be flexing yourself and your team and knowing that maybe there's something you really want to push, but maybe the timing isn't right. You got to make space, like Angela said. You got to work with the priorities, work with your executive committee, your chairs of the committees and whatnot to really make a plan and kind of move forward. So idea generating is great, right? How many of you have done strengths, Clifton strengths? Anybody? Right? Like the 4 domains. I'm an executor. Angela is ideation. She is like thinking of ideas. So, when they paired us together 5 years ago, it was perfect. Yes. She had all these ideas and she was like, I don't know what we're going to do. And I said, I have ideas on how to get this organized. And so look to your team right in this room and those who are online, identify the people who are the idea generators, identify the people who are the influencers who will get out there and speak the truth and speak the gospel of what you want to push out for Staff Senate. But then you need the executors. Yeah. And you need the people. All of you hopefully have those pieces of relationship building. Like that's critical. But I'm just playing off of strengths. You've all done different assessments, but think about your skills and your strengths you're bringing to this table and share that. It's very easy to not want to speak up, or like you're nervous, right? You're in a new group and you're like, oh, do I want to? You want to share what you're bringing to the table because you're going to dive in and start. You don't want to waste 2 months tiptoeing around each other. Jump in, have some of those hard conversations in the beginning with your chair of your committee and get to work because you don't want to lose the momentum or your time. So just keep the ideas going and then get some of those folks who are the executors to kind of push it through. Kind of mentioned these already, but
Yes.
we can go through.
And then also what Leena just said as well, if you feel like you're coming stagnant, you don't know what to do, feel free to talk and ask questions, ask your people in your unit, like, what are some things that you think that need to happen that we don't have, or that we can execute across campus that we could do if you become stagnant or can't think of anything to do, because you still want to remain active in your role as a senator, because you're in this role for at least, one term at least. So think about it that way as well. And so this is some highlights that we've had since the Senate has started. One thing that is not on here was that we knew that the Senate was like a legit organization. We got the email from President Castleman, and it went out to the whole. We didn't know what was going out. Like all of a sudden, we saw this email and said, "Okay, the staff Senate has been established. Angela Wright, Leena Holt has done this, and blah 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 blah." Started getting these flood of emails, and Leena calls like, "Angela, did you see that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw it." Like, when we saw that email, it's like, gosh, we did something that the president supports and that he's full on, head on with supporting us, whatever we needed. We could ask, he said, okay, we can get that done for you. It was like, wow, we've actually felt like that we were here for a purpose, right? And that we were actually doing something that could be, that we can advocate for every one of us that are staff here on campus. So that was one of the big highlights that I thought, and I think I still have that email somewhere buried in my staff Senate folder on my email. But some of the things that, of course, we're now a permanent fixture here on campus. We established the bylaws. That was really huge. We did that working remote at home with kids in the background and all that, and with the committee. It was hard getting everybody together, remote. Some people's, oh, my internet is out, whatever. So we had to do all that, but we got it done. The inaugural staff Senate orientation, that was really huge. See everybody come together that has been elected. That was like really, like seeing it in person was really something. Like, everybody's here. Look at all these people, we're all here, whatever. That was really a big deal. Also really big was having a staff ombudsperson here. And so if anyone used that service at all, spoken to her or referred any of your constituents to that service, or remember we have that person here, Robin. She is great at her role. She can help with anything. So that was really big. Yes. Yes.
Or the ombudsperson. So Robin, I've been made aware that we can actually contact Robin now before the end of the week in regards to the Return to Campus initiative. So if you have feelings at all, I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. I'm not trying to, get on the list here, but I just want to make sure that that's addressed. That if you want to reach out to Robin, you can just go to her webpage and contact her. You can do an anonymous contact. You can also schedule an appointment with her and touch base with her. She is very helpful, and she is an open line and direct connection to the president that will help get you heard, or at least the people that you're representing. So just please contact her before the end of the week too. Like, that's
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yes. And so, yeah, you all please definitely use Robin and support her and what we have her on campus. And also, one other big thing that we wanted to highlight was the investiture ceremony. And so Rashandra, she was the president at the time, and when President Amaritas got sworn in, she was on the stage with all the other folks, and able to speak and everything on behalf of the staff. That was really huge. That had never happened before in the history of the University of South Carolina. And so that was really a big deal to have one of us actually represented, not just a faculty person, but actually a staff person represented at this really huge event with the investiture of President Amaritas. So that was really big. And of course, Staff Appreciation Day. Hope you all went to the one that we had in May. That was so much fun outside. The weather was beautiful, great food. And so that's great that we still have that. So I look forward to doing that every year. So that's just some of the highlights that we wanted to show off here.
We only have a few more slides. So things to remember. So at the first staff Senate, I think, meeting, Shelley shared this. I think we shared at orientation and then she brought it back up. But remember, it takes small steps to achieve things. And so don't get lost in the grandiose of like, oh my gosh, we have to get over here. Remember, the 10 steps in between are equally critical and important. And you don't have to do those alone. There might be 10 steps, but you don't have to do them by yourself. Phyllis might reach out to Maureen. Maureen might reach out to Anthony. Like, you can reach out to each other to accomplish your goals. So just remember, all the little steps matter. I just think it's so important. And then also celebrate your wins. Celebrate the little wins, like that one email that gets pushed out or the one response you get from a leadership. Celebrate wins. Like when you think about that psychology, like celebrating the wins motivates you because you're going to go on to the next thing. And then you keep celebrating and pushing yourselves to that next level. So baby steps gets you to that higher point in the ladder. So keep that in mind.
And then also success looks different for each person, right? So one way of doing things could be another way of doing something for you. And so don't think of success as just one-sided, one-minded. And so just remember that success is continual growth. Could mean building relationships. It could also mean, have a clear mission and strategy for the group, defining our purpose and our goals and our strategic plans. It also can mean effective leadership is success, right? And then as well as empowering one another and having a strong culture, positive work environment, and open communication. All those can mean success. But again, success means different for each person. And then for our group, the staff senators, success can mean like a small win, like she said, hearing from that particular leadership. Maybe President Amarita sent an email, that could be a really small win. So celebrate all those on the way to getting to our goals. But just know that success is different for everyone. Doesn't mean like getting this big, large prize, right? So maybe we don't establish a new policy for the state in this particular term, but we did some other things that were really effective that would have great effect on our community here at USC.
The other thing I think this image symbolizes, I'm sure many of you have seen this, is you're going to take a lot of steps and there's going to be roadblocks. There are going to be moments, there's going to feel like there's a wall and you're hitting a wall constantly. You're not able to get it. Think of the wall not as a wall, think of it as a bridge. Think of it as an opportunity to push yourself through, utilizing each other, right? Don't think of it as a wall, think of it as a bridge that you're crossing over with the support of one another. Also, you're going to take steps back, right? This image symbolizes that. You're going to get some wins and then all of a sudden something's going to happen and you're going to feel like crap, it's not going the way we want to. Keep perspective and remember there's a bigger picture there. That moment might suck, right? Like it's okay, things can suck, but there can be good things still happening. And as a senator, you're going to have to help your constituents and your team and your units to remember that, because people are going to come to you. What do you think they're going to come with you? Positives or negatives? Negatives. They're going to, that's natural. That's human nature. But how are you going to take that and put it in perspective while listening and truly hearing them, but also understanding that that's okay. You're going to find solutions as a collective. And so you want to keep that in mind. So when you see this picture, what do you think of when you think of staff senate? What does it symbolize? Anybody? Growth. Tell me more about the image. Right here. Absolutely. You are a part of that, right? Like if you look at this picture, right? And I don't have a fancy pointer, so I'm just gonna. This is me and Ange. We're under the dirt. Okay, this is us. We were down here and we were okay with that. But because of the executive committee, because of the bylaws committee, because of all those other people who were part of that journey in 2020, we got to here. Then Shelley Dempsey and that executive committee really pushed us and propelled us. Then the next group and then the next group, right? You are a part of this trajectory. You are a part of something that's continuously evolving and growing. But the critical thing, as he said, Senator Brown, there's the sun, right? Like beaming and giving that energy and light. The soil it's the environment and the nutrients, right? Mm-hmm. But it also has, the weeds are not here. I didn't put a picture with weeds. It wasn't pretty. But if there were weeds in here, that's the negatives. That's the naysayers. That's the energy that you don't want. So as you think about your environment as a senator, how are you going to cultivate your space? How are you going to maintain and manage those weeds? How are you going to bring in the nutrients? How are you going to help cultivate a space where it can actually grow? Now, there's times it will wilt. Okay, I get it. I killed plenty of plants, unfortunately, in my real life, but that's okay. This picture shows real growth. There's gonna be wilting, but you can build it back up. And I think that's the key. You're here for the long term. You might serve your 2-year term, you might choose to stay on for more. At the end of the day, you're still a part of this organization. At this point in time, you are a part of it now. And you get to maintain that connection to the organization as long as you want. And I think that's critical because at the end of the day, staff are critical to the university. Our figure said it. We are the backbones of the academy. I am saving that email. I'm always going to keep that one. But we just wanted to kind of talk to you all about that because this is such a cool opportunity for you all to be a part of it and continue the good work that started. I mean, what we did versus what is now is remarkable. The team who came after us have done so many amazing things. It's really cool to see all that's been done, and we're excited to see what will be. So the last slide, and then we'll just, if there's time for questions or if anyone has a question, we'll take it, but this is just a quick quote.
So we're all a team, right? So remember, teamwork is the ability to work together toward a common vision, the ability to direct individual accomplishments toward organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. Andrew Carnegie. So remember, we're all a teams. We're all working together for a common goal. We might have our individual units, individual departments, but we're all working together toward one common goal, that is to advocate for all of us staff here on campus.
We have time for a couple of questions before we thank them. Anybody have a question for our two founders?
We'll be honest, it wasn't easy.
There's things that are important or not.
I'd like to say thank you to both of you and Dr. Dempsey. I mean, I was here from the beginning.
Oh, yes.
I've also been here for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen an organization like this ever created. You know, so it's a monumental task. And I think it hit at the right time, the right place with COVID. And it really just sort of sparked it. So I think I've seen it grow exponentially. So I just want to say, I know that's a lot of hard work and a lot of talking with a lot of people. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Privileged to serve.
Yes. Let us know how we can help. As you serve on committees, we're here to support.
I appreciate the house metaphor more than most from my education background. Both of these individuals could be teachers as they have the whole plant illustration and everything. But I really appreciate too hearing about the swivel door, because I think Barry and I have been here since the beginning. Megan, I think, has been here since the beginning. We'll tell you too that swivel door, even though you may not be a senator anymore, you're going to make connections among individuals here that are going to keep that going. Whether it be somebody in HR, somebody in housing, somebody in IT, who you're going to be able to contact for your own needs and benefit, but also those of your constituents who, those coworkers you continue to work around. And so that is also something that is amazing as we continue to look how we want to connect, empower, and lead. So please join me in thanking these two individuals, because we wouldn't be able to do this without them. But thank you. Thank y'all so much for your time and expertise. We appreciate it. One other point I'd like to reiterate just from hearing from them, and I think it's really important to know where we came from to where we are, because I too am astounded, having worked at other institutions, how fast this has grown and how well it has been accepted in such a very, very short time. Past President Castelloni and I have the opportunity to meet with other staff senates across the state from other institutions that don't have the sort of traction we do, that sort of limbo in the name only sort of thing. And so I thank our founders and all those individuals who have worked hard to get us where we are, because we're going to keep that momentum going. And I want to also remember, we're not always going to agree, and that's not the reason we're here. We're here to discuss, talk through, and see what we can do. And I'll just use the somewhat controversial return to work that is happening. I want us to voice our opinions. I want us to be heard. But then I think no matter what occurs in that arena, continue to advocate to improve the staff experience, right? Whether it be through having more relaxed remote work policies, whether it's improving what we have on campus. I want us to make sure that that's what we do. But most of all, going back to what Senator Brown was saying, by utilizing those resources available to us through the ombudsperson, let your thoughts be heard as well, because I think that's clear and important. And know, as the president, I will do the same thing when I have the opportunity to meet with certain leadership, whether that be our ex officio members that you met at orientation and so forth. And so make sure that you're also in contact with me, because we want to make sure that we move the organization forward, and that is not only Staff Senate, but USC as well. Because as we always like to say, if your backbone isn't happy, no one's going to be happy. That is metaphorically for my back as well as the university understaffed, because we want to make sure that this is a good place to work. And with that, we want to talk about our committees. We've asked our committee chairs to come and give a brief report, knowing that some of you have not even met yet officially, but this gives you all an opportunity to, again, hear the different committees we have, but also to hear when they're going to meet. Please know that even though you may not be a part of a committee, you are more than welcome at any point to join that committee, just to hear what's going on. If it happens to be something that is close to your heart that you want to share with that committee to see if they can possibly help you, this is the opportunity for you to hear who those leaders are and how you might do so. And so with that, we will begin with membership.
Hi, my name is Katie Annan, and I am the chair of the membership committee. I work in the Arnold School of Public Health. We will be meeting on the third Tuesday of the month at 2:30 on Teams. And a couple of things that we have discussed as far as goals for this year. We want to look at how to engage and invigorate staff senators. And I know the checklist that Senator McCormick handed out earlier was really helpful in engaging us and finding out what we need to do and what our responsibilities are. So we'll be looking at that. And also we're going to continue to look at representation among colleges and units. And we discussed reaching out to key individuals, past leadership, to discover their why. Why were the bylaws written the way they were? Why was the representation selected that was written in the bylaws? So we'll be reaching out to prior leaders of the Staff Senate for that. So more updates to come. Any questions?
Awesome, thank you. And just for full transparency, one other concern that was raised to executive committee that will be going to membership deals with representation of those who are in the advising role, especially in our academic colleges that come from the University Advising Center but are housed in our academic colleges, who feel part of the college representation versus the UAC, and how we might talk about that and see if there's something that can be done. So membership will be looking at that as well, and look forward to hearing back from them. Next, we have communications.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thom Harman. I am one of the co-chairs for the comms committee this year. This is actually my second term on Staff Senate, so glad to be back. I'm really looking forward to working with all the new people on our committee, as well as everybody in Staff Senate as well. And I'll turn it over to you.
Emily Miles. I'm from the School of Medicine, Columbia. This is my first term. We are going to meet on the third Monday of each month at 9:30 a.m., also via Teams. Some of our early goals include making sure that we're reaching all across campus. One of our committee members, Senator Franklin, mentioned that a lot of times the tradesmen and women working around campus aren't sitting at their desk and may not see an email or an important message. So how are we reaching those groups? The next thing that we talked about was continuing the work of last year's committee and exploring the possibility of a campus-wide staff-focused newsletter, and then just ensuring that we are working to fill communication gaps across campus.
Yeah, just to touch on that real quick. In the last 2 years, we did I thought a pretty good job of like improving our communications on campus. And it was a real focus for the comms committee. But we also know that there are still gaps that we haven't been able to fill yet. And specifically, certain areas of our staff membership who aren't in front of a computer all day, who don't check email regularly, things like that. We've got to figure out how to get like 100% of the staff informed about everything all the time. And so that's going to be a big focus for us this year. So any questions or anything?
Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. And that is just one great example as well with membership. If you hear them talking about a topic and you have an idea of how to, for example, fill that communication gap, please reach out because you don't have to be a part of that committee to have a great idea that propels them forward and waters the soil. See, I can keep up with a theme and grow that plant. All right, next we have staff policy and well-being.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Chambers. I'm in my second term of Staff Senate, and I'm one of the co-chairs for Policy and Wellbeing. Caroline Hulett is my other co-chair. Some of the areas that we discussed at orientation as far as kind of goals and initiatives for this year, we'd like to continue our strong collaborations with Caroline Gardy, Amanda Castles, and the Faculty Policy and Wellbeing Committee, because there's a lot of overlap there. So maintaining those relationships. So aquatics, the Black pool access was a big topic that kind of came up towards the tail end of last year. So we're going to continue working on that for staff across campus. Tuition assistance, expansion, and continuing ed. Again, those were kind of at the tail end of last year that we'd like to continue this year. Some newer initiatives that we discussed were looking at childcare on campus with Bright Horizons, as well as kind of segueing into senior care opportunities as well. And then kind of a pet project that Caroline would like to take on since Staff Appreciation Day has been such a success the last couple of years. We were discussing maybe doing an event in the fall to kind of promote staff wellness and well-being with doing kind of a field day event or like kind of a Highlands game. So we'll talk about that at a later meeting, but kind of a pet project there. We're going to be meeting the fourth Tuesday of every month at 3 p.m. on Teams. So our next meeting is on July 22nd. So if anybody would like to join us, you're more than welcome to. If there are any other areas of concern that you have or things that you should be, or things that you think deserve our attention or our time, please feel free to email me or Caroline or anybody else on the committee, and we're happy to make it a part of our agenda. Anybody have questions?
You said the like date time again?
Oh, the fourth Tuesday of every month at 3 p.m. So the first one is going to be July 22nd. Any questions? Thank you, guys.
Excellent, thank you. And please know that one of our ex officio officers, Caroline Gardy, the Vice President for Human Resources, generally attends the Staff Policy and Wellbeing Committee as she's able, which is pretty much all of the meetings. And so they have a direct line to her, as does many of us on the executive committee. So if there's information that you need clarified, if there's a new policy that comes out and there's confusion and so forth, let us know, because again, those are avenues that we already have established that we can assist. Professional development.
Slightly longer walk.
Dramatic pause, we like.
Hey y'all, good afternoon. My name is Jalen Fuller. I'm the HR trainer in the Division of Human Resources, and this is my first term on the Staff Senate.
And I'm Brett Williams. So this is also my first term on the Staff Senate, and I'm representing the South Carolina Honors College.
So just first and foremost, our standing meetings will be the third Tuesday of each month at 2 p.m. It's going to be on Teams. So if you want to join a meeting, you can reach out to me or reach out to Brett, and we can get you added. Let us know. So we didn't get to really talk too much, but we did kind of discuss some things at orientation that we were kind of trying to tackle. So first and foremost, we want to use that big employee insight survey to really kind of help develop some professional development opportunities here on campus that are relevant, that people really want based on that data. We're trying to look at some leadership development for folks on campus, especially, for retention efforts. We know that some newer policies are really pushing folks away, or maybe folks are looking for things that they can't get anymore on campus. So looking for some things to keep those folks on. Finding out what professional development means for all of our staff members, not just our staff members who are punching numbers behind the desk or on their computers. What does that look like for all of our staff members? As well as applying for some of those access and recruitment grants to deliver some of these materials for folks, getting new sources of funding so we can deliver more stuff to our folks.
I think one of our biggest goals as a whole this year is to really get tapped back into our partnership with the Office of Organizational and Professional Development. That is in, if you will, the bylaw of our committee, which is to be an advisory council to that group. And our understanding at our orientation conversation with our two executive committee liaisons, Vice President Reed and immediate past President Colacione, was that that wasn't really quite maximized, shall we say, in the last couple of years, as a lot of the focus was turned in on senators themselves. We are trying to really expand that to get word out from OPD to you all, and then of course to our various constituents to make sure that those synergies are really picked up and we can do the best that we can in that regard. So as a matter of fact, Jalen sent an email today to several members of OPD to try to get them in our first committee meeting. So we're trying to get that early and often. We would love to have some of their folks also speak at a body meeting sooner rather than later. We understand from the executive summary that we saw in the teams that that was actually something that they told the last committee that they wanted to do early this new cycle. So hopefully come either next month or September, we can make that happen for you. So looking forward to going on this journey with you all, and certainly we'll take any questions if you have them at this point. Cool. Thank you very much.
And they mentioned the insight survey. That is something that the executive committee and I are waiting on to be briefed on those results. The climate survey we all took. And so we hope to bring you that as soon as possible, as at least an overview as soon as we get it, and then what kind of breakdown we are allowed to see and can push for. Next up, we have community projects.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alexis Watts, and I am in the Division of Development. This is actually my second year returning as the co-chair with Amanda for the Community Projects Committee.
And I'm Amanda Colie. I'm in my second term. I'm also representing the Division of Development. And we are really excited to be co-chairs of the Community Projects Committee. So our meetings, we're actually going to be meeting on the third Tuesday of every month at 3 p.m. via Teams, but Alexis and I are going to kind of be taking the show on the road also. So if you want us to come to your unit or college, we'll be there, and then we'll have Teams for everyone else. So please join us virtually. We would love to have you join us.
Yes, please join us. Our goals are, we're going to have a calendar set up for the fall. So most of our volunteer opportunities we can actually see in advance. So that'll be our plan for our next meeting, is to get you a fall calendar of all of the volunteer opportunities. And we highly encourage you to sign up for Move-In Greeter or First Night Carolina. I think Amanda and I both have volunteered at that before we even were staff senators. And it's just a really, really fun and engaging volunteer opportunity. So guys, sign up for that if you get a chance.
And just a heads up, if you do volunteer for anything that is in August, it is hot. It is hot. Like I was in the Bull Street garage and people from, up north were moving, and they were looking at me like, are you sure you're okay? Just drenched in sweat. So bring a towel, make sure you look like it's not so hot in South Carolina. But it is a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity to connect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Next we have up is the Bylaws Committee. Chair Richards made a wonderful slide.
Hello, everyone. Senator Richards from the College of HRSM. I'm the chair of the Bylaws Committee, and our committee members are Bianca Reed, Haley Floyd, Jim Benson. And so through a recommendation of one of our executive committee liaisons, we're going to be meeting the same week as general body meetings on Thursdays. Teams meeting from 2 to 3 p.m. And our first meeting is actually this week. So some of our initial goals: review and maintain accuracy of existing bylaws. Last year, there were some updates. So we want to make sure in all places that the bylaws are written or shown, that those updates have been made. Educate Senate members on bylaws. So we're gonna start doing bylaws 101 because as we realized last year, which was kind of brought up recently, that some people don't understand the constituency and how it works, and it's based on hiring unit. So when people either go to nominate or run for a position, understanding how that works and understanding who you represent. And sometimes hiring units can change. So for example, advisors used to be under colleges. They moved to the provost office, I believe, in the middle of a fall. And some of the senators may not have realized that, and that communication may not have been forthcoming for everyone. So we're going to be doing bylaws 101. Hopefully, you all will enjoy it every month, and it'll also give you some information because we know it's a lot of information to read through. Another thing is support structural improvements. So there have been recommendations. You were at the orientation. One of those was about looking at the language of absences, also looking at if there should be an immediate past treasurer. So we will be looking to Leena and Angela. We're going to be reaching out to you to maybe come to a future meeting of ours to kind of understand some of the why as well of how, what was the idea of, hey, what was the absences? Is this an arbitrary number, or what was the reason for that? So we can make informed decisions and then present them to the Senate so that we can see where you all are with some of our discussion. And then last, committee collaboration. We think that as the bylaws committee, we should definitely be collaborating more with the membership committee, possibly hoping to do an orientation for those who are nominated. So that way it's not until orientation when you become a senator that you understand some of this information before you decide to pick up the reins and say, hey, I want to do this, and kind of give some clarity of bylaws or just information as what do you need to know to be a senator through the nominating process. So yeah, those are some of our goals, and excited to serve you all this season.
Awesome. Thank you. Next up, we have staff appreciation and recognition.
Hey, my name is Brian Shelton. I'm the senator from the Darla School of Business. The co-chair for our group is Senator Adrienne Wright. I was not able to attend today, but she will be presenting updates with me for the rest of the term, the rest of the time here this year. This is my second year in the Senate. It's very strange. There's only like 9 of us returning. So it's like being a returning cast member on SNL and they have a whole new cast, and you're just trying to get to know everybody. And I barely got to know everybody the first time because I'm very shy. But I am glad to see everybody here and glad to be a part of this new Senate. We will be meeting on Wednesdays, the third Wednesday of every month, virtually on Teams at 2:00. So we would love for anybody to join us on these meetings. One of the things that happened last year is, of course, we started off as this sort of core committee, but then as we got closer to the actual staff appreciation event, we added people as sort of separate subcommittees. And so that may happen again this year. So that's really why it worked as well as it did, is great planning from the original committee, but also all the help from all the senators to put it all together. It was just a wonderful event, and everybody just did a wonderful job. And I think that's, once again, why I think people enjoyed it. What our initial goal is to analyze what was successful about the most recent Staff Appreciation Day. We're going to look at the survey results and kind of see what people thought. Definitely from what we understand, the survey results were very positive. But at the same time, you always look and you say, well, look, could we do this, tweak this a little bit, or do this, or definitely do this again, maybe hire a different MC. I was the MC, by the way. The DJ was great though. But I think that's what we're going to do, is just kind of look and see what worked and, what we can make even better. I think that should be a goal, I hope, of the Senate, is to take everything we do and just try to find a way to escalate it one notch every year. And I think that's what we'll try to do is take something that was great and just try to make it just a little bit greater. And certainly we'll need everybody's help with that. In the fall, primarily what we'll be dealing with is logistics, trying to finalize where the event will be held. Last year, we had it in Davis Field in front of the Russell House, and it was, I think it's an awesome location. So ideally, I think we're kind of looking at that again, and then what day we'll have it in May and all of that. So fall, we're going to be dealing with a lot of logistics. In the spring, that's when we actually start to get down to the logistics of it. But looking forward to help planning this event again. And also our committee may look at other ways that we could recognize, wonderful staff that we're a part of. So that's something that we'll discuss as well, as if there's other things we can do to recognize the staff. Thank you.
Awesome. And last but not least, we have our Scholarship and Fundraising Committee.
Good afternoon. My name is Terrence Gilmore. I represent Parliamentarian College on Staff Senate. My co-chair, Savannah Britz, she's actually a little under the weather today. We will be meeting the third Wednesday of every month at 3 o'clock via Teams. Our goal is to build on what we started last year. We had a lot of good ideas when it comes to fundraising and making money from some scholarships for the university. So one of the objectives we had last year was the silent auction at the Staff Appreciation Day. That went pretty well. We have some more ideas that we plan to initiate this year. So if anybody have any ideas, please feel free to share. We have one of the smaller committees, so if anybody want to convert over to us, we accept you guys. Other than that, feel free to hop on our meeting third Wednesday of every month at 3 o'clock. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Now would be time in our agenda for new business, of which we have none. So we will transition to announcements in good of the order. Does any senator want to bring forth an announcement or something for the good of the body, good of the order? All right. With that, we're going to transition now to our adjournment, and then know that we are going to then have a brief, some brief information about that checklist, and then an opportunity for a brief meeting with some role-alike senators, so you can ask some questions and learn who they are in our last few minutes together. But before we do that, as business and announcements have concluded, is there a motion to adjourn our official meeting? Thank you, Senator Chambers. Is there a second? All right, thank you. I think I saw Senator Brown first. Thank you so much. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, then the meeting is adjourned, and want to now, our next meeting again is August the 12th, 3 p.m. same place. And now I'd like to invite up Parliamentarian McCormick and Vice President Reed. We're going to talk about our next portion.
Okay, to get started here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I was just gonna end this.
It is very nice to meet all of you. My name is Jessica McCormick. I actually work at the College of Nursing as the Director of Strategic Initiatives, and